Publish your own book to hold it in your own hand? I'm Mila Johansson from Pen to Published, and I coach writing and publishing. In fact, I helped Steve, Irma, and Olivia put together their book, Heart Notes, as an example of what I do. And I'm so excited to be an official sponsor for the Sing Your Heart Song Summit in July. Right now, you're going to experience a speaker spotlight series. There are so many valuable speakers for you to get to know before they do their presentation. Don't just watch, join the conversation in chat.
We are so proud to announce the Sing Your Heart Song Summit, Sounds of Summer. This is our Speaker Spotlight series, and we are so pleased to introduce to you Tené Kosmyna. Tené Kosmyna is a transformational consultant with Success Ocean International. She facilitates corporate trainings for the hospitality and customer service industry and emphasizes personal and professional development. Tené is a proven methodology for learning that lasts and training that transforms. Please visit www.successocean.com for more information. Tené will be presenting during day 2 of our summit under the theme of Valuing Your Heart Song. Tené's personal quote is, "Nothing shines brighter than sincerity." Good morning. Good morning, Steph. How are you today?
I'm awesome.
Excellent. We are going strong with another final push of Speaker Spotlights. So welcome everyone to the Sing Your Heart Song Speaker Spotlights. I know, taking the cue from Catherine Yarborough, let's be more expressive. So, right, so using our whole torso, hands, gestures, and facials. So thank you, Catherine, for conducting your Speaker Spotlight with us and showing us how we can be more expressive, especially on camera and on video. And so, yes, Friday is going to be July, Steph. Can you imagine? It's already here.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? I mean,
Where did the time go?
Truly. And, just looking at Tené's domain, Success Ocean, and both of us wearing kind of teal aqua colored clothes and so forth, and with the background that we have behind, up here outside of my Zoom window, I love summer and just kind of the playfulness of it all and everything. And time really does fly when we're having a good time. It's actually been scientifically proven that time flies when you're having a good time. It's when we're bored and struggling that the clock just kind of tick, tick, tick. It takes forever to go from 1 minute to the next.
Like that metronome, right? And the piano, tick, tick.
Yeah,
tick.
right.
Marcy, good morning to you. Thank you so much, Marcy, for supporting your fellow speakers and joining us today. We're so excited to sit down with you this week as well for your speaker spotlight. And thank you. We are very color coordinated. And that's why we're so in sync. I mean, I didn't have to call Steph to let him know. So that's pretty amazing that you picked up on that. So awesome. And it was almost serendipitous, right? That we have a company like Success Ocean as part of Sounds of Summer for the July Sing Your Heart Song Summit. So we're very, very much on trend, on point. And our speaker today, Tené Kosmyna, is also very on point as well, too. So super excited to bring her on with us. All right, so let me go ahead and cue her up here in just a minute. Let's give her a big summit welcome. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Tené.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. I love the colors. I didn't get the memo.
But you brought the Success Ocean, so
Oh, well, yes, I did. But thank you for wearing those colors. They look great.
I know
They
there's
look
just something
great.
about teal, and I love how you show up teal in your profile picture as well too.
Yes, I love that color. I couldn't help but have it in my life in every area. So, thank you. And to be honest, the water is kind of a tealish, greenish color here on the beach. So
mm,
it's flowing everywhere.
Indeed, it is. Indeed. Oh, Irma is chiming in too. Irma is saying good morning as well, and we're
Good
looking good.
morning.
Yes,
Good
maybe we should
morning. Good morning.
our presentation colors for the summit. Everybody wears teal
Exactly.
on day 2,
Yes. Yes, please do that.
right? Okay, so
Yes.
day 2, you heard it here first. We're
we're on
deciding
it.
teal on day 2 because
Teal on day 2.
teal is well, day 2 is when you're presenting, right?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
they're valuing your heart song. So, all right, we're
Yes.
gonna write this down. Executive orders.
Exactly. Teal it is.
Awesome. So, where did that even the name Success Ocean come from? How did you and your business partner Stephen Kosmyna come up with that?
Well, actually, he came up with it first. He was doing some research on some things, and he happened to come across, I think it was a Navy boat, a Navy ship, submarine, maybe even. And he was looking for names that meshed with success and things of that nature. And it just kind of rang out. And he said, I think I will call it that, Success Ocean. And that's really how it came to be. Has had nothing to do with what we're doing really right now, except for, I guess if it's the Navy, it's not, would be the Army, be all you can be.
Mm,
It's that same concept. So you can probably still use that phrase. I'm quite sure for any branch of the military. It's just the Army has it as branded. So
that's really cool. And I love just the whole concept of Success Ocean. As I've shared with other people, one of my favorite places to be is on the beach looking out at the ocean and just the massive expansiveness that is there. That for
yes,
me, the ocean represents abundance and prosperity and a possibility that there you can't see you can see a horizon, but you can't see like land on the other side. And rather than being disconcerting, as I imagine that might have been for some people at one time, where it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get close to the edge, we're going to fall off and go into
mhm,
whatever, that we know that there's whole worlds out there on the other side of the ocean.
exactly. And I'm glad you said that because what I see and what I know is that when you're looking beyond that horizon, there are other worlds beyond that. And really the other worlds are what's coming from within. So
Mm,
it's like seeing as far as the eagle or the eye can see. So whatever you can bring up in your imagination, you will see beyond that horizon. So yes,
that's a beautiful
absolutely.
thought.
Yes. When you're out there, it's to say it's beautiful, I don't even know if that's just it's so majestic because the power of the water, first of all, when you see it, you're feeling it and seeing it, and you're watching the waves ebb and flow. And it doesn't even have to be a stormy day, but it's even to me more beautiful, if that makes
Mm,
sense,
yeah.
when it is a stormy day because you see even more of the power that is coming from there. And then not to mention just the sight of it and the smell and the wind and where I am, I'm on quartz sand. I'm not on the
Mm.
brown sand, so it's the sugar white sand. So you're all around you, you have everything magical in a sense. So
That is
it's
really cool. And
beautiful.
as Olivia and I discovered somewhat recently, is that if I understand correctly, that quartz sand is mica, right? That flows down from the Appalachians. It's actually very close to where I live. That the mica begins, and here, like when I'm out hiking in the mountains here, I can see little sparkles of mica pretty much everywhere I go, but it's not concentrated like it is on the beach where you are. And similarly, how all the rivers in the world start out with little trickles and come down and flow into the ocean and create this massive amount of abundance. When I hike up to the top of the hill right behind me, I can see where one of those streams literally begins, and it's just a little teeny trickle. Like you can't even hardly notice it unless you're just paying attention to it. But as it goes down the hill and flows out eventually to the ocean, it continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more expansive. And just I love that idea of how that expansiveness, the worlds beyond, start from within. That if we can imagine it, then we can create it.
Exactly. It's the imagining. It's interesting. So many times as we all go through life, we wonder, how do we create and do and be whatever we want? And everyone wants that one thing that you can do, because they don't want to have to go beyond that one thing. They don't want to have to bring in other ingredients into that recipe. But it is a combination effect. It is a recipe, and that's really, truly what it is. So along with the imagination is the feeling that comes with the imagination. So once you're seeing it, if you're just imagining it, then you're imagining in a sense of it's far away from you. You're looking at it, viewing it as almost a movie. But when you are feeling it, you're in the movie. You are the movie. You're being the movie. And that's just when you're out there and you're looking at the water, you're looking beyond, you're feeling and seeing what it is that you actually want. And you're putting yourself in there. And the key is, if someone happens to tap you or say something to you and it pops you out of whatever it is that you were feeling and seeing, then you nailed it.
That's a writer-downer. The feelings that come with the imagination.
Yes.
And I love that, Tené. So I want to share a quick story because you and I have gotten to do some work personally, and I just think it's so remarkable, all the things that you're helping me just to become more aware of and like awaken some of these senses, right? Instead of just like blindly passing through life. And so I watched a movie like months ago called Minari, and it's about a Korean immigrant family coming to America and trying to like create a farm out in like Missouri. It's a really poignant, poetic movie, and I'd waited a long time to see it because it was, shown at film festivals and whatnot. I finally got to watch it on Hulu, and I was so in love with this movie, right? Well, number one, because I anticipated watching it. Number two, like I love the actress that played the grandmother in this movie. Her name is Yoo Jung-eun. Love her. And she's also in another movie I really like called Pachinko. But anyway, Yoo Jung-eun is remarkable, and she teaches her grandson how to grow this particular plant called minari, which is a staple of a Korean cuisine in Minari. And it grows in like very soggy soil, right? Like almost like a swamp, which is like right behind this family's like land. And it's also like a dropwort. I think it's also called a dropwort kind of root vegetable.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like if it's under
underwater. So Minari, so I'm watching this movie and I'm like, wow, like I've never seen this vegetable before, right? And it's just like, wow, like, how cool it would be if I could taste Minari, or like, where would I find Minari?
Exactly.
Like, where do I find this vegetable? I'd never ever seen it before. And like, just the ways to describe, I was so curious. And my husband's like been working in the backyard. So come to find out, I didn't even say anything to him, but come to find out he found someone that grew Minari. He didn't even know it's called Minari. He knew it by his like Vietnamese name. So like,
I love
he found someone that grew Minari themselves, gave us the root, and he planted it. And like, I have Minari now in my garden.
Oh my!
Oh, I love this story.
Talk about speaking into existence and the feelings I had when I was
Yeah,
watching this movie and just the thought that came in,
that's
just a
right.
seedling of the thought, like, wow, I wish I could have Minari. And my husband's like, you don't know this vegetable. I'm like, I've never ever seen this in my life. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, he goes, I've been
Yeah.
eating this forever. I'm like, you have? And I never even like knew.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I just, just want to give credit to you and Dr. Steven because I don't think without your coaching, like I would have picked up on something like this. And Steph and I were in another, event this past weekend, and this woman like raved about star fruit. Like she loves star fruit, which I'm very accustomed to. So Anne Bingham, like thank you, for raving about star fruit because I grow star fruit and it's something that I eat in my Vietnamese, meals. And
Yes.
Steph has never had it. And Steph is like, I'm gonna go try to find star fruit. So I
Oh my God.
send you one, Steph, from my backyard when it when it ripens.
I love this. Yes. Isn't it magical? It's really like magic, but there is no magic. But we think of it because that's the only word that we can associate with the understanding of you thought it, you felt it, and voila, it was there. And I love that. So what does it taste like?
It's very herby, right? So you can eat it raw, or you can even just blanch it, steam it,
Is
and
it more minty or is it more like marjoram or oregano or what is it?
I think it might be a cross between like oregano and parsley.
Okay, oregano and
Very
parsley. Okay.
herby, right? But it can also be like flat. And so most people though, they're not used to just eating raw vegetables. Like for our Vietnamese cuisine, like we just have like a side of raw veggies all the time, like mixed veggies that we
Yes.
eat right in between our meals. And so but this is also really good steam, but not overly steamed because you don't want it to be soggy. So just like
Okay.
blanch it in boiling water. And then I've been looking up like Korean recipes on how to cook minari, right?
Exactly.
So they season it with sesame oil and soy
Okay.
sauce and garlic and onion. So I've been testing it out. But I'm just so thrilled, like I now have minari. And it's
Well, hopefully I will be able to find some Minari now because I would love to taste it and smell it and use it in my dishes as well. So thank you for sharing that. That is awesome. I
thinking
love that. I love that. And I love the fact that you didn't even, this is the second or third time you've mentioned that you never said anything to your husband, and voila, it happened. And this is how it works. This is why I teach people these things because they think that it's like, what are you talking about? But yes, you thought it, you felt it, and you're like, how did you know? I never mentioned it to you. He just knew
telepathically picking up my weight.
telepathically, and we say, oh, he's just psychic. He knows me very well. Well, yes, he does, but because we all are connected, you put the thought out there. He's on your frequency. He picked up on it, and he did it, and voila, there it is. That's how this thing works.
I'm thinking the same thing with our color choices today, Olivia, in that
Mhm.
I literally before it was about a minute before I joined you. In fact, I was buttoning up my shirt as I was connecting to Restream, and I mean, a whole closet full of shirts, and uh, like, well, which one am I going to wear? Am I going to wear this? Yeah, let's wear this one. So it's just really interesting how we have these magical moments.
I love that. I do. I love that. But this is what happens out in life. People think, whether it's I love the Henry Ford saying. I've been saying it for years. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Mm,
So when you're out there in the universe, whether things are happening that's in life that's positive or negative, you're contributing whether you think you are or you think you're not.
mm, yes.
So you contributed to each other's thought on what colors to wear today, not realizing that you were really contributing. So that is pretty awesome.
That is cool. And I often say that my dream of for this life is in this world is to create a brighter, more beautiful, more resonant world. And the way that we do that is we start from within, right?
Mhm.
It's hard to create a brighter place if we don't allow ourselves to shine from the inside. Not just all this visibility and so forth, which is great, but we have to light our internal flame and keep it burning in order for us to shine out there. And if collectively, when we each fuel our flame, that flame just becomes so much brighter and more beautiful.
Right, it does. So the way we teach at our company is to fuel that flame. You're using all of the gifts that are just natural to each one of us that we don't all of the time develop. We're developing them without knowing that we are. So we have our intellectual faculties there that aid in the development or the fueling of the flame that's already there. Because the light is in us, it's not going anywhere. And if it does, then we cease to exist. So once that flame is there, to fuel it, to be able to have, do, and be all that we want to have, do, and be, then we're going to use that imagination and the reason and the memory and the perception, all of these things, along with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, the reasoning process, and be in order to be able to think ourselves into the results and the manifestation of what it is that we really want. And I think that when people realize and really truly understand that process, to really say that they're going to have a magical life doesn't even describe it. But we always hear in older movies that there is responsibility that comes with whatever gift that we have. So once you realize how to use it and you're using it in the most positive way to get the most positive outcome, then you don't have anything to worry about. It's when you tiptoe into the non-positive realm that you keep saying, well, I'm just going to do this time. That one this time is going out of that circle of positivity or alignment, if that's probably a better understandable word. And the more you do that, the more you're cheating yourself. Because you can't really cheat yourself because it's going to come back to you. Just the moment you think, this doesn't matter, it actually really does matter. You're trying to get yourself off of the hook and take yourself off of the hook, but you can't really, because it's just going to do nothing but boomerang back into, gosh, I thought I escaped that. Nope. The law, the underlying law is always in effect. It does not take a vacation. It does not say I'm going out for coffee. It it is always in effect. So.
That's so true. And one of the things that I've been working on recently has just been looking and seeing how do I be more intentional about being in alignment. And I've been working on this alignment stuff for almost a decade now, and intentionally. It was actually one of the major means by which I went from severely and dangerously depressed to loving Monday mornings again.
Okay.
And it was by where am I out of alignment? What is not. Is it within me? Is it in my relationships? Is it my relationship to my work? Or there's so many different factors that impact that alignment. And just just like the wheels on our car, when they're out of alignment, we get a totally different ride than when they're in alignment. And there are many factors that can impact that alignment. So how do you create that alignment? How do you get a sense of what alignment is and what alignment isn't in your life?
You have to really start with awareness of who you are. And what I mean by that is not the person named Steph, the person behind that, the entity, the spirit behind that. That's where you start. Knowing what that really means and what that is and what it can do. Because each and every one of us, regardless of race, creed, nationality, whatever it is, we are all exactly the same. There is something that runs each of us, animates each of us.
Mm.
So once you realize what that animation is and what that animation can do and how it is connected to the life we live, then you'll start to become aligned and in line with who and what you want to do and be. And it's also understanding and forgiving the lack of knowledge that you have had to get to that alignment to be in line.
Mm. Yes.
It's it's also knowing that everybody is in an iteration of who we are, and every relationship that's coming into our lives, magnetically we're bringing
Mm.
by our thoughts, our feelings. We're bringing that into our lives. So that person, those people are the characters in our own mental play.
Mm.
So once you realize that, then you can say, you know what? Either you want to cancel the play altogether and start over, or you want to say, you know what? Maybe I'll exit left some of the characters that I really don't want and bring in some new characters. And
Mm.
you just keep doing this because you realize that this is a journey, and to be intentional and in alignment and be aligned is not a finality. It is a constant thing. So just as you think in your mind, I got this. I'm okay. I'm completely in alignment. I am aligned. I got it. I'm good. Nobody can touch me. I'm untouchable. A wind is going to blow and you're going to realize, man, I didn't really have this after all. And then you have to just keep going and keep going and keep going because it's a journey. I believe that once if you feel that you finally got it all, then you're probably going to just probably transition to your new state of existence, of being. And I don't mean just here physically, but just leaving here altogether to go to your next step in space and
Mm.
in where whatever this thing called life.
Yes. You know, and one of the points that I am taking away from that is just when we have those, I call them 2x4 moments with the universe, that whack us upside the head and wake us up a bit, that those can be both simultaneously terrible moments and terrific moments
Yes.
because, think of your favorite story. I'm sure there's quite a few 2x4 moments in there where the whole
Oh, yeah.
story gets shifted. That makes
Yes.
it interesting, and that's where the growth and the possibility comes in. Whereas if it's just flat the whole time, we're going to lose interest super quick because there's no energy happening.
Exactly. 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 You cannot grow and stretch and grow without something bursting, something breaking open so that you can have that next transition or revelation in your life. It just has to happen. I mean, if you plant a seed and it never dies there to
Mm.
burst open into something else, like Olivia's beautiful water
Nice.
garden plant, yes, then it will still be under the water, never to grow.
Mm.
So
And
that's what we have to do.
how interesting that, this also like the lotus plant grows in muddy waters.
Yes, it does. I know. And
Something
you
so
just,
beautiful. And
yes, you don't know that. And it's like, how did that beauty come out of that?
because at
But
first
you,
it wasn't a very attractive because I'm looking at my husband like, because he has to feel like a basin, right? I'm like, why is it so soggy? Like, I've never seen like wet soil. Like, why?
exactly.
He goes, no, this is the environment that needs to grow in. It can't grow in like dry soil. It has to be always like soggy and damp and wet. So I do want to give a shout out to Natalie Lucas, who is watching this segment today.
Oh,
So
hi, Natalie.
hi there, Natalie. So Natalie has been agreeing with you this entire time. She loves that
Oh,
you're
thank
touching
you.
upon the law of attractions, talking about inner peace. And so big shout out to you, Natalie. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Speaker Spotlight with Tené Kosmyna. And Tené is one of our featured speakers at the Sing Your Heart Song Summit. So I encourage you to go and register today. If you're enjoying this conversation, wait till you hear at the summit in July. Yes, hello, Natalie. Thank you for joining us.
Good
And
morning, Natalie. Good morning, everybody.
if you've got a question for Tené or for any of us, let us know. So please
Yes.
feel free to engage with us in the comments. We'd love to have that interaction with you. So yes, if there's questions that you have, let us know as well. So yay! Awesome. I do want to talk a little bit about your recent birthday because that was celebrated in a very big way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
CIR, Thinking into Results, had something to do with it too. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it does. You think of different things that you want in your life, and some people want just, sometimes the smallest thing is the biggest thing. But I wanted a new car. So do I know how to go out and get a brand new car? Absolutely. But the vehicle that we decided on getting was we got a brand new BMW. And so it was very nice for us because we were able to use the thinking into results process of getting exactly what we wanted. It wasn't something that we had to think about or think. You ask and it is given. It truly is. And once the formula is in you, you're just going to start to naturally use it for every single thing in your life. And that was again another example of using thinking into results. We thought the results into our lives that we wanted, and voila, there's one just sitting outside now. So it's great.
That's awesome.
Very great. It is
So it's not
awesome.
just colors, but it's also BMWs and
It's
other things.
everything. It's BMWs, it's a house on the water, it's living on the beach, it's everything. When I start just detailing my life of really understanding, thinking into the results that you really truly want, you realize that success is not by accident. It's really a choice. But it's being able to now actually put into words and into a formula or a recipe that you can actually use repeatedly for every single area of your lives. So that's what I teach people because I don't really like people to say, "Oh yeah, I did it," and they want to hide how they did it. And sometimes people hide how they did it because they want to keep it to themselves, or they can't even tell you. They don't really know. They just did it and they miss the process, but they don't really realize what goes into that process. So
Mm,
my job is to take everything in my journey, put it out there for the world to hear and see, and for me to just really have testimonials about what has happened in my life so that they can then do the same thing. Because when I heard that people did particular things, I wanted to do exactly what they did. And I didn't want them to say, "Oh, I just did it. It was luck." There's not luck. It was
mm,
a definite way of doing it, doing things in a certain way, and I wanted to know that certain way. And so
mm.
now I'm telling everyone else.
That's awesome.
So speaking of this, if you want to find your success GPS, Tené has an awesome quiz that's available. So get in touch with Tené. I highly encourage you all to get to know each and every one of our presenters ahead of the summit. And so this is her link right here, tinyurl.com/my success GPS. It's going to walk you through some very eye-opening questions, and then you can just get in a call with Tené.
Perfect. Thank you, Olivia.
You're very welcome because you're right. We do need we didn't come into this world with recipes or
Mm-mm,
formulas or
mm-mm.
instructions or manuals or
Ex-
GPS on how to navigate life.
Exactly. The joke is, when you have a child, there's no manual for it. And there is no manual when you come into this world. But thankfully, all of these sages and prophets and just lovely people throughout the ages have wrapped up this information in books over the gazillion years that we've had. And there have been particular people in the over the years that have been able to just line it out for us and tell us what it is. And I'm one of those people that is taking it and I'm passing it on. Just like
Mm.
we pass on, I don't know, a key lime pie recipe. I'm passing this on because this can actually really help your life in a different way. You know, having a piece of apple pie is going to give you that instant gratification. But the recipe that I give is not just instant gratification, it's whole life gratification and it's continuous gratification that you
Mm.
can have to manifest every single thing that you want in your life.
Mm. You know what I love about just this idea of recipes and passing things on. And for me, that's what story is all about. You know, when we share our stories, when we're open and willing to share both the highs of our stories and the lows of our stories, it helps people to follow our recipe and to find the recipe that works for them.
Yes.
I have 4 children, and if I'd been handed the the parenting handbook, this is how you raise your children, I would have had to throw it away after each one of my children because they are so incredibly different from one another.
Yes.
There is no one set of instructions. Okay, it worked great for this one, not
That's
working so
right.
well for this one. You know,
That's right.
and it's being open to trying new recipes, to and to passing that information along to other people.
Exactly. 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 I want everybody to just, as we go through this, understand that each single person that is going through life, they have children, don't have children, they just have relationships, work relationships, love relationships, all of these things. There's doing things in a certain way, you know. When I'm just thinking for a second, when we want to go into planting something, a certain way to plant a plant, you need soil, you need seeds or bulb or something, and then you put it in the ground. There's certain procedures that you have to do and follow in order to get the result that you want. When a
Mm.
farmer is planting corn, there's a certain way that a farmer has to plant corn in order to be able to see that crop come. And that's the same way we have to do in life. It's just that we're not taught it. And then once we're taught it, there is understanding it, knowing it, and doing it. And you can know it, but not do it. And I teach people that as well. It's called the knowing doing gap.
Mm.
Well, thank you, Natalie, for just jumping on to our conversation and taking action today. You rock because you just registered for the Sing Your Heart Song Summit. So, yay!
Yeah.
Woo-woo! Tell all your friends, Natalie, right? It's more fun to bring a +1 to these events. So tell
It
all your
is.
friends. And I'm so excited that you got to meet Tené today and that
Oh,
you'll
thank
work
you.
with her and see more of her at the summit and all of our amazing spotlights. You can review those as well, too. So thank you, Natalie. And Natalie says, yeah, children do not come with a manual. So just let them be themselves. Yes, right?
Yes,
We can encourage their growth, support them because they have their own unique gifts that they want to bring into the world and want to express.
they do. And what happens is when knowing how to get from point A to point B with that formula, then what's been brought into them through their genetics will be able to come out. They'll be able to have that clarity about what it really is they want to do, be, and have. They won't be stretching at straws saying, maybe I'll do this in hopes of doing that because the money will be there and they really hate it.
Mm. Yes.
They're
Mm,
doing it because they really, really want to do it, not because they think they have to do it. So,
exactly.
And in
Um,
my mind, that's where thriving really comes. It's where your mind and your heart are in tandem with one another rather
yeah,
than in opposition to one another. And I've had a
exactly.
career and in an environment that was incredibly painful. Even though I
Mm,
was making good money, I was not thriving. In fact, I was
exactly.
barely surviving.
Exactly.
And it's when we bring those two together that we can really thrive.
Exactly. Exactly. The satisfaction is not there. You're going to work and you really are almost like robotic because you're thinking, okay, let's get up. let's get to work. Let's go do this and that. And you put on the pretend smile as you're there, and you're doing everything in a routine. And in the inside, you want to just cry every 10 seconds because it's not giving you the satisfaction that you're really needing. You don't really want to do it, but you're doing it because you have a house, you have a car, you have kids, you have a partner, you have things that you want to do. I want to teach people that they can really have, do, and be whatever. So if they want to go out for a 3-month vacation, these are the tools that you can use in order to go have that 3-month vacation and then still have the money in there without saying, how on earth am I going to do that? Well, it can be done.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think Natalie is sharing some of our similar sentiments, because we're on LinkedIn, for example, and we've had corporate careers, and now we're
Hmm.
trying to branch off and, live a different version of ourselves. And Natalie says that, she lost some of her friends just by being herself.
Hmm.
And she says here, I lost most of my friends by being myself. They called social services and the mental health authority. So that's unfortunate, Natalie, that happened. But hopefully you
That-
will find new friends at the Senior
Yes,
Summit. And
exactly.
what you
Let
said
me
earlier,
just
Renee, at the beginning about, there are some people they're going to exit stage left,
Yes.
and it's
yes.
okay.
Yes, it is. It is okay because usually we pull people in to our lives based on the frequency of who we are presenting. So, who we are at that moment, we're presenting that to the world. And it's a frequency, it's like a hologram of sorts. And people are latching onto it. And then, as soon as you realize, you know what, I don't really like this anymore, then you're going to say, you know what, that's okay. And then people they will just peel off like an onion. They just will go away. And you'll think to yourself, wow, I never saw that person again. Well, don't think too hard on it because you don't want them coming back. Don't think too hard on that. You don't want them coming back. You want them to go on, wish them well, bless them, and bring in new people.
You're awesome today.
Natalie's
Just
saying,
the
yes,
way.
she now has a small circle of friends, that are
Mhm.
important to her now. And
Well,
so,
that's good. You know what? And that will serve you very well, Natalie, as you go through life. And they will help support you in a way that those others just couldn't do and probably shouldn't have
Mhm.
been there to do anyway. So good for you. I'm glad and I welcome more of that core friendships that you have.
Yes. I've been going through a little bit of that myself this month, which some of you might know a little bit about. And there's the painful side of losing friends or
Yes.
people in our lives that we thought were friends, but it's also the awesome experience of deepening relationships that would not have been as deep if we don't allow ourselves to show up fully and authentically.
Exactly. Exactly. As we transition to each phase of our lives, we're going from consciousness to consciousness to consciousness. And when you make that decision that, you know what, I don't want to do, be, or have what I had, I want to do, be, and have what I want to go forward to, then those people will go away and you will be able to be supportive. It's just, it's just the evolution of you. You need those people now around you that is going to support that new person that you are wanting to be.
Mhm.
But that's when the clarity comes in. You have to really know what it is you want. We know what we don't want, but we have a hard time saying what it is we do want. So once we know what we absolutely do want, then those people and resources and everything they're just going to appear to support us no matter what. But that's when awareness comes in as well, so that you can be aware of them when they show up, because just because you imagine it doesn't automatically mean they're going to show up in the exact image and way that you are imagining. They will show up, but just be aware of what it is so that then when that opportunity or that situation, that person comes, you can quickly and confidently identify this is it. This is the time. This is the person. This is whatever it is. And you know that the feeling will know that this is right.
Yes.
And that's a great way to end our segment. Thank you so much, Tené, here. And, I want to highlight this quote from Irma. Irma is saying, our souls know what's best for us. Those people that we lost in our lives were there for a reason. We
Right?
got that lesson. It was time for them to go on to their next lesson.
Absolutely, Irma. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you, Irma, for that. Oh, but that's a great closing statement. And thank you so much, Natalie, for your participation. You've been so awesome today. And hopefully this just gives you a little bit of inner peace of mind to have this conversation with us. And you are free to be yourself. Yes, that's the only way to be. And yes, we are equal. No judgment.
No judgment.
No judgment. Awesome. So thank you so much for registering. For all of those of you who are watching, I do want to make a special announcement that we do have a special workshop called the Embellished Journals Workshop. And so the link is here.
Yeah.
Yes, so you can upgrade your ticket. So it's free to attend the summit, right? It's free to attend the summit. However, if you'd like to upgrade your ticket, you can be included in our workshop with the fabulous Chris Dyer, who we will be spotlighting later on this week. And she's going to run us through a Sparkle workshop on how you can embellish these journals. So can you imagine? Hang on one second here. Can you imagine having your own journal like this? Embossed, laser engraved with your name, with the SingYourHeartSongSummit.com logo, and you can embellish this with Swarovski crystals. So that is what you get when you upgrade your ticket. And so the link is below. It's tinyurl.com/heartsongjournal. The orders must be in ASAP so you can get all the materials in time for July Summit. And definitely, it's a workshop that you do not want to miss. And I think, Tené, you and I have been in a workshop with Chris before.
We have.
Our cups, right? And so this is how that I embellished in the workshop, but I had leftover crystals. And look, I turned my ordinary mug into a sparkly one.
I love that. You're going to make me do that with my mugs too. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. But you know what? Chris is awesome. She's very awesome. She's very easy to listen to. And everything is easy to put together and it comes out beautifully. So anybody that really wants to enjoy it, I would absolutely say attend. Especially with journaling, because then you can take everything that you want to do, be, and have and write it in there. Because writing causes internalization. So you probably want to do it and voila, you're going to have it.
And voila, exactly. And so everything that you ever need is going to be available in your kits, the glue, the tools, the pipette. You might have to get your own tweezers, but to pick up the crystals, but you will also have leftover crystals. And get this, when you go to this order form, you get to customize with your name, or maybe you want to give it as a gift for someone else. So put their name on it. You can also choose the color of your journal. So there's a wide variety of colors to choose from. You can also choose your color crystals, and if you want stencils. So I requested some heart patterns, some music patterns, music note patterns as stencils. So be sure to customize it as you wish on the Heart Song Journal link right there below. All right, excellent. So thank you so much, all of you. Marcy Field, awesome. Thank you so much, Irma Goosen, you rock, Natalie Lucas, and all of you watching this on replay, #replay. We will see you all soon at the Sing Your Heart Song Summit in July.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's been so good.
Woo! All right. I hope you got your journals and stuff. So I'm looking for a red color. So hopefully, like I customized it just now. I went with red. My name is short enough so I can put my first and last name on the cover.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Right? So it doesn't have to be just your first name. You can do initials if you like. Maybe make a monogram. And you can also choose, first and last name, or just you can also choose your font. If you know a font that you like, whether you want the basic font or a scripted font. So everything's in the order form. So go fill it out now.
I am going there. I haven't gotten mine yet, so I'm on it.
Excellent. All right. Well, I will see you later, Steph. Thank you so much for joining me today with the Speaker Spotlight.
Always a pleasure.
All right. We'll see you again soon.